afternoon here at Yankee Stadium, the third game of 4 between the Yankees and the Blue Jays.
You got to give credit to our hitters for continuing to stick with the approach.
Unless you're a nice cocaine. Yeah, she's in a tall boat sipping on a damn good time.
Down the left field line. He has hit this one pretty well. And it's off the wall. Espinal in to score. Jansen in to score. And the Blue Jays have the lead.
Swing and a drive to the gap in left center field. Long run back for Benintendi. He's still on the run. Dives and he can't get there. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. Vladdy is tagged out. It's 4-1 Toronto. In the air out to straightaway center field. Florial going back through the warning track, getting to the wall. He leaps in the air, and it's gone! Into Monument Park for Matt Chapman.
They're exciting, young bunch, very talented, and the sky's the limit.
She don't care, she's just there to tip.
The Blue Jays have won again. They have come into the Bronx and taken the first 3 games of this 4-game series.
And tee up the sweep Sunday afternoon with Alek Manoah on the mound.
Outside Yankee Stadium, mural of some of the greats, their numbers honored. They will add another one to the list inside today. Paul O'Neill, you'll see that ceremony, number 21 for the Yankees to be retired. They could use a bat like that in their lineup. Right now, the Yankees are reeling, and the Jays have taken full advantage as they have won the first 3 games of this series. The finale about a half an hour away here on Sportsnet as we welcome you to Blue Jays Central one more time with Joe Siddall. I'm Brad Pitt. Just as everybody predicted, we're heading for a potential sweep on Sunday in the Bronx.
5 days ago, I think Blue Jays fans were worried about the wild card race, and now you're chasing for the AL East title.
It's kind of like The Fugitive. You're chasing something, but you're looking behind you, too, because that's where we'll lead off with the wild card standings. Thanks to 4 straight wins and a loss by Seattle yesterday, the Jays are now tied with the Mariners for top spot in the wild card race. Both teams have a 1-game lead on the Rays, who hold the 3rd and final spot. And you check out that column on the left. You remember how deep the deficit once was, and the Jays could pull within 6 of the Yankees with a win today and a sweep of this 4-game series. For the 3rd game in a row, as we take a look at the Blue Jays lineup, George Springer will not be in the lineup for the Jays. We take a look at the starting 9. It includes Gurriel Jr., who will lead things off. Some good news down in the 4 spot as Teoscar Hernandez will be in action. X-rays negative. He will DH, take a day off in the field after fouling the ball off his foot yesterday. Just 1 left-handed bat, Jackie Bradley Jr., who had his first big moment as a Jay yesterday, hits 9th against southpaw Nestor Cortez, who goes for the Yankees. And Joe, Jays have not seen a whole lot of left-handed starters, but that might be a good thing because left-handed starters in particular have given them trouble.
They have. They hit left-handers in general, similarly to right-handers, but it's the left-handed starters that give them trouble. And I think part of that is because relievers, generally 2-pitch guys. Fastball, slider, you can zone in a little bit, but any hitter will tell you, coming from the left side, it's just a different angle. Now, when you face a starting pitcher, sometimes maybe a 4-pitch mix, it's a lot more to handle. Look at the at-bats. They just have not seen a whole lot of left-handers. Why? It's the platoon advantage. Opponents continue to pound righties at them. But if you've got a Nestor Cortez, you'll take your chances. And these are their hitting splits against starting pitchers. Look on the right. This is one of the best offenses in Major League Baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays. Tops in a lot of categories, but against lefty starters. And again, you get one today in Cortez. They offer a variety of pitches, different locations. So there is a lot more for hitters to handle. And they will have their hands full this afternoon with Nestor Cortez Jr. He's got a very sneaky fastball. Not overpowering. We'll see a lot of 91, 92s. But hitters will tell you it gets on you in a hurry. He'll throw it all around the zone, and then he'll cut it in on the hands of right-handed batters. That's going to be about 88. So you've got to gear up for that fastball that's kind of a sneaky, quick fastball and be ready for the cutter in. He'll also offer the off-speed breaking ball, and he'll backdoor it to righties. Look for a lot of those today against the Blue Jays' right-handed hitting lineup. So you can see the array of pitches that you have to handle. He's also got a changeup that he'll mix in. So lefty relievers, probably 2 pitches. Maybe you can gear up for the heater and adjust to the slider. But you get a starter, 4 different pitches oftentimes, and all different locations. That backdoor breaking ball can be tricky. When you have to gear up for a heater and be ready for the cutter in, it speeds up your bat, and then the pitcher's got you right where he wants you.
As for the Blue Jay starters, going back to the last game of the previous series, 3 straight gems, and then Mitch White with a solid outing kept it going. Will it be 5 straight from the starters? Here's Arash Madani with more on the guy who gets the ball for Toronto today.
Well, Brad, we sometimes forget because Alek Manoah has been so good this season because he was made for Hollywood and showed it at the All-Star game, that this is still a young pitcher in the very infancy of his career. Consider the 2020 shortened season. He was over at the alternate site. Now, take a look at the innings pitched for Manoah in his career. Yes, his ERA is up in the month of August. Could it be because the workload is significantly more than he has ever dealt with in his career? Manoah won't go down that road, although he did admit that he's changing his in-between start routines. And I asked John Schneider how the Blue Jays are handling the innings pitched and the workload for their big man.
Delicately, I think if you can find a time to where he's done his job and we can protect him a little bit, like anybody at this time of year, you do that, knowing that he's well versed in his prep and everything to, if you need to push him through a big spot, we can do that. Last outing, 107 pitches, whatever it was, so we're comfortable with keeping him out there. But yeah, it's a delicate balance between what's good for him, what's good for us.
I feel good. I feel like it's go time. So right now it's kind of just keep pushing forward and keep adjusting, to the routine, to the off days. Take what you can where you can, and just continue to grind through and hopefully get a deep run into the postseason.
So that's the story with Manoah as we welcome in Shai Davidi down here on the field. Another day without George Springer, who was out doing a bunch of activities on the field again. Springer goes 5 for 5 in the first game of the series. Now it's been 3 straight without him. You're just getting the sense that you never know when Springer will or won't be available.
Well, certainly this has gone a little bit beyond the Blue Jays' expectations in terms of how long he's needed to recover from it, but I'm told that he is available to pinch hit today if needed. And
they said that yesterday too.
That's right. Maybe there's a little subterfuge in there and can keep gamesmanship, keep the Yankees guessing. But you also look at, you think there's an off day on Monday. Yeah. You can combine a little bit of rest, try to get him right. The fact that it gets a little bit more recovery for that elbow, that probably doesn't hurt. So, okay, I think we saw very clearly what the impact George Springer can have. The Blue Jays miss him, but also, I think a big part of their planning is trying to make sure they can get the best out of him for the remaining weeks of the season.
And Springer's putting in the work. I mean, when the clubhouse opened at 11 o'clock this morning, Springer wasn't in the locker room because he was in the hallway going through a number of activities. As we mentioned, he was out here on the field. We didn't see much of Teoscar Hernandez. Presumably, he was in the training room, and somehow Hernandez will be in the lineup today and will DH. You may remember late in yesterday's game, Hernandez took the foul ball off the foot. When we were in the locker room post-game, Teoscar was only limping around. He couldn't even slide his foot into a shoe or a flip-flop, and yet he's going to be out there tonight.
Right, and it did not look good yesterday. After he fouled that ball off his foot, he dropped. He was in very, very visible discomfort, and even though he remained in that bat, ended in a strikeout, you could see him hopping on his foot, unable to put very much pressure on it. But clearly he's good to go because he's at DH. He'll minimize the impact on the foot without having to play the field. And again, I think there's another guy where a day off on Monday is really going to come in handy.
The Yankees are not getting much daylight anywhere with anything. They get Manoah today, and then the Mets come across town, and it's DeGrom and Scherzer who they're going to face, and the frustration is building. This place was booing the team off the field the last couple of days. Aaron Boone did his best Denny Green impersonation, smacking the podium. The Yankees' division lead continues to just wither away, and it feels like there's a bit of a power balance shift in the AL East right now.
I mean, certainly the standings are getting a lot closer. If the Blue Jays can complete this sweep, they're only going to be 6 games back in the American League East, and that's in sight. It's not
wild,
insurmountable, but I think we also need to keep in mind that the Blue Jays a week ago were in the spot the Yankees are in right now,
sure,
in a slide, doing everything they can to try and get out of it. and fortunes can turn quickly. They remain a talented team, but right now they are a vulnerable one, and the Blue Jays seem to have caught them at a very opportune time.
Brad, we're going to send it back to you. They're kicking us off the field. They're going to honor Paul O'Neill out here in the Bronx, so let's go back to studio.
Yeah, if you see a surplus of odd high numbers on Yankee uniforms, a lot of retired jerseys, 1 to 10, all spoken for in the Bronx. And the Jays trying to complete the sweep, add to the misery in New York. Blue Jays Central rolls on after this on a Sunday afternoon.